This lesson is taken straight from my Syntakt Mastery Course. If you want to dive deeper and get the full training, check the link below. You can also sign up for an exclusive discount, and when you do, I'll send you more details about the course and how it can level up your music. So I do this a lot, obviously, on the Digitakt and the Syntakt with snares, but I'm going to show you some other ways in which you can use the fill button as opposed to just using it for snares. So first of all, I'm going to just show you how I do it for snares as a recap. So hold down the trigs in between the snares or claps, and then put some fills in like that. There is two fill options. There's that one and there is that one. And I will tell you what the other one is in a second. So if we take the grid recording mode off, really important that you turn that off, you can do on-time clap or snare fills. So what I'm going to do now is just show you a way in which we can use fills for other things as well. So we've got this sound here, and I'm thinking I'm going to use that maybe to put in some fills. So what we could do is determine what fills we want. By fills I mean melodic fills. So we've got A, just see what notes we're on, G and A sharp. So what I could do is copy that one and maybe take it up an octave. Maybe again. That's quite cool actually, G6. That's nice. So what I could do now is hold those down, go to conditional locks and change this to fill. Gone too far, haven't I? Let me go back. There we go. So now let's say if this sequence was a little bit longer. So let's go for the full sequence like this. And it's a little bit weird. So what I'm going to do is bring that all the way up, take this off, put record on, and I just want to copy over these 5 here. So I'm going to copy them over and again, and then what I need to do is just take that first one and put it there. So now we've got a longer sequence. What I could do is show you what happens when we press yes and page. So what it does is when you press yes and page, it latches the fill. So instead of having to hold it down, what it will do is it'll wait until it gets to the end of the sequence and starts again, and then it will initiate the fill and hold it right until the end of the sequence. So what I'm going to do now is show you how that could be useful if we create a melodic sequence. So let's just create something a bit different. Let's put this on C to start with. And I'm just going to put in some root notes. Quick reminder, this video is just one piece of my full Syntakt Mastery Course series. If you want the complete system, sign up with your email using the link below. You'll get a discount plus more info on what's inside the course. That will do. And then what I'm thinking is chucking in some little extra fills again. So maybe just towards the end like this. So what I might do is just go for some like octave stuff. That's cool. We'll go for that. So and maybe one here maybe as well, not there. That's cool. Right, so all these let's turn them into fills. I think I've done that a little bit wrong, so yeah, that one needs to be fill. That one needs to be fill, I think. That's better. So I can hold that and get that fill going, or I can press yes, and it'll play that whole little fill sequence that we had. There's another little trick as well. So now we're going to look at the other option, which was not this one, but this one. So when you go for this fill, it's not audible until you press fill, and then it switches the trig on. If you go for this fill, it will be audible still. So if I go for the root notes that we started with, it'll be audible, but as soon as I press fill, it will go the opposite way. So it'll actually turn these off. So check this out. And I need to kind of remember which ones it was, the root notes. I think it's that one. Nope. That should be it. Gone a bit wrong there somewhere. Let me just go back into the fills and grid mode. Not that one. That's the one. So this one we need to put it on the fill with the line at the top. So let's test it now. So I've got an idea now. So what we could do is we could extend this sequence out. So, and what I need to do is come back, go into grid recording mode, take these off in the other 3 pages because they're a bit wrong. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to copy all of these over to the last page. So a little bit tricky sometimes. There we go. Grab it like that. And then move over. So I want to put it on number 10. And don't forget, you don't have to press them all in and press paste. You can just press that one and press paste. So let's just see if they've actually ended up on the last one. So I'm just going to let that play through. That's worked, right? So what I want to do now is just change this one up a little bit and then copy it to those 3. So, sorry, not those 3, those extra little 2 in the middle there. So what I want to do is just take those fills that I just showed you. I'm going to take them off. And I am going to actually get rid of... Sorry, it gets a bit confusing sometimes, this. Yeah, get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Take that one off. Let's just listen to that. Cool. Right. So now what we can do is copy these 5 trigs first. Paste. Paste. Copy just 2 trigs here. Paste. Paste. Let's just have a listen to that, see if it works. Now watch what happens. So I'll let it go through one more time. And I'm going to hit yes and cue that fill up. Listen to what happens on this run. And don't forget, what I can also do is go to the kick, which is, let me see where the kick is, on the number 9 there. And let's just take a look at this kick. So what I'm going to do is actually clear the kick, and then I'm going to come back out of that. Put a kick on each of these. And then with the last ones, if you haven't already guessed what I'm going to do, I am going to turn them off with a fill. And maybe put a little fill just at the end there. So these ones, they will switch off, and this one will switch on. So let's have a listen to that now. In fact, one more thing as well. So let's go to the sound that we've got going on, and let's go, so the bass sound. Let's go to these ones here. And they've already got, actually, let's just put a bit more reverb and delay. Not that one. This one. Bit more reverb and delay. Maybe open up that filter a little bit more. So this one, and then I think it was the one right at the end. So we're just going to get a bit more wet on those ones. So let's let it run through once, and then I'll cue the fill up, and then we'll listen to that. Also, what might be quite cool as well is to look at those lock trigs where you put them in the middle like this. Now, these won't trigger the sound, remember. They will just allow you to lock parameters without re-triggering the sound. So we could also put fills on those as well. Now, to hear these make changes, I'm going to have to open up the release a little bit. So let's just do that. Because what I'm thinking is, just for this demonstration, I am going to lock the filter like this. Maybe put some resonance in. There we go, like that. Don't know what this is going to sound like yet. Pretty cool, actually. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to put the fills on these as well. And then to make this easier for me, I'm just going to delete these in the middle. And actually the top row there. And then I'm just going to come back, grab 4 at a time, and put them in like this. Bottom row, just need to remember not to put this bottom row on the last page. So don't put it on there. This one on there, on there. And that should work, so let's try that. So cue the fill up. That is so expressive, that's great. And you can still put them in manually like this. So there's also one more little trick that I've not shown you yet with the fill modes. You can actually latch the fill on as well. So the way that you do this is, once you're running your sequence, hold the page to get the fill going, and then yes, but then release page before yes, like this, and it latches it. So now we're latched into that other sequence. You can use this to come up with an alternate pattern within one pattern as well. And if you want to come out of it, you just press page. So as a recap, what you want to do is page plus yes, release page, latched. To To come out of it, you press that. If you want to queue up the fill, yes, and then page. And it will do it for one sequence. Or if you just want to do it manually, to be honest, I never used this technique, and I'm playing around with it now during this course, and I'm thinking, why are you not doing this? It's brilliant. So I think it's because I get used to machines in a live setting, and then I come up with a certain way of working, and then I end up sticking to it until I do a course on a specific machine, and then it gives me loads of insight and inspiration and ideas, and hopefully it does for you too. So I think what I'm going to do in the future is, I still love my snare fills, so I think the Digitakt, I'll probably use the page button to get those snare fills in, because snares are usually done on the Digitakt anyway, because I like my 606 snares. I like sample-based stuff for that. But I think for the Syntakt, I get rid of the snare fill idea completely, and I'll start working like this. Because in my live set, I've got 4 patterns for each song in the set. Each of these patterns can have a totally different setup for the fills. So you could come up with some mental stuff. You could go to the second one and it'd have something completely different. And it'll just be really good in a live set to be able to just go, yes, page, and then you've just got this really mad change for one sequence. So that's just one lesson. There's loads more waiting inside the full Syntakt course. If you want to see what's included and grab a discount, sign up with your email using the link below, and I'll send you all the details. I'll see you in the next video.